Good morning. 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 Morning. Stream and chat. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are here. We're to watch some Apex Legends. All right. So Esports World Cup. The World Cup. I don't like making people wait. So I'm gonna hop right on this right now. Hop right on this. Okay. Boom. I think we are still running back up.
Their energy here, Tiff.
I saw Cybercats logo on there. Yeah, we got some Cybercats former players up in here. You do?
I do, actually. I got a chance.
Alright, so here we go. We're doing the co-stream. Start co-streaming now.
Here, of course, Gibby once
We
again
are
is going to be
co-streaming right
the
now.
next legend out of E District. We still got 2 more games to go here on this map.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is actually very typical from the last most
All right,
recent
y'all.
series they
Y'all ready
ran
for this?
prior to running match point finals
Y'all
scrims.
ready?
They went Crypto Seer, Mad Maggie, Gibby.
Aw.
Now, if we're going to anticipate
Oh,
what
you
we
guys
could
gotta
possibly
see this
see,
for
could be a
sure.
coming ban on Watson. Ulcer usually doesn't get banned until after Game 6, and, you know, we're only playing 6-game series. So we're going to have so much alter on
All
E
right,
District,
y'all.
which has been really opening up a lot of
We
those
are in
aggressive
it.
plays that
We are
witnessed in
welcome
our
to the
prior game,
co-stream
getting out
of
and just
Apex
kind of
Legends
navigating the
finals.
field. But for our teams that are finding themselves at
Actually,
the
we're not
bottom
on
of
finals
the
yet.
overall
We're on group
leaderboard,
stage.
this is where I'm
Hello,
challenging
everyone.
you.
Hi,
It's
good
going
morning.
to be Shopify Rebellion. I'm calling you out just a smidge. I'm gonna need you guys to step up because you're not on this page, all right? For now, Team Liquid at the top 52 points. Dinos, an impressive showing here for those young boys.
Exactly, right? Because if you take a look at
Dinos? What is Dinos? That's so crazy.
Features coming out with 14 total KP
And
over
we
the
are
course
in
of these
group
last 4
stage.
games alone, and that's with Panic trailing right behind him, with Team Liquid holding first place overall over the course of these last few games with 13 KP.
Yes, we are in group stage. We are in group stages. Group B to D.
This
All
key
right.
crusher in the background. It's so scary, bro. If I come
We
here, I don't
hope
want my key
everyone
crushed.
likes
I've
Apex
also been
Legends.
actively
Apex Legends
avoiding
is
that
pretty
area.
cool.
I
I'm
don't
not
know
gonna
why.
lie.
I used to work at risk management, and
I've
let me
had
just
some
tell you, I
experience
feel
with
like
this
I can
actually,
avoid
which is
I was gonna have
crazy.
to highlight it. It
I
takes, like,
went to
days to
Apex Legends
Oh, you're
when
gonna take days to crush the key?
like,
No,
no.
what the
It's
championship
instant,
series
actually.
in South Korea, Japan,
do highlight how
and it was so fun. That's
instantaneous
actually where I
your
got
key
this at.
disappears before your
And
eyes,
I
but
bought
it's
so much
also
esports
that
stuff
double
too.
disrespect of
Look at that.
the game-winning team for the day to really move up and crush all your dreams after they pick one of their opponents to do the job for them. But
I
again,
hope.
just to
Are
highlight,
we
guys,
giving away drops
map
for this?
number 5, rather match
We're
number 5
giving
is
away
on the
drops for this,
horizon.
right?
It's crazy to see how a lot of these teams have been able to shape up going onto E District. Don't go anywhere because we got a short break, and when we come back, we got game number 5.
Alright. Okay, I guess we are
Now,
on break mode.
the proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best, making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion, reach your impossible.
Welcome back, everybody. We got the crowd going wild. I'm right behind that banner, by the way.
Should we stand up? Should we try to peer over?
Even if I stand up, you won't see me. But you'll see Team Wolves and their
Nice.
support
People
as they
from Japan
rally
are
up the
here,
troops
too.
behind us here. We're getting
Japan
geared
made
and
it
ready to
all the way
go
to Paris.
for game number
Japanese
5
people
on
love
E
Apex
District.
Legends. They do.
Team
They
Liquid
really
right
do
now
love this.
has been putting on quite a masterclass.
sure.
It's about that consistency, though, Tiff, when it comes to moving on from World's Edge into E District.
It's kind of wild because when I was thinking about it and looking at some recent runnings of this matchup, I've been kind of hyping on it. It was Team Liquid, Unlimit, Falcons, and S8UL were the 4 teams that I had kind of put into it, that I was like, this is the squads that are going to be the ones to look out for. They've got multiple wins, and actually I don't believe Team Liquid had taken a win in that series, but good thing they showed up today. A second place in map 1, a win in map 3, 3 was fantastic. Dinos putting their name into the mix, and then S8UL getting 1 win in map 4. With 2 to go on E-District, I'm looking for more out of Team Liquid. They looked great on World's Edge, and I think that they can replicate it. Sure, E-District yesterday, we talked about it, they had some issues running in with Alliance on that early stages, but they're not here in this lobby. We move on up towards the Lotus, but the southern zone definitely hurt them a little bit.
And we see that so consistently too when it comes to E-District. And coming out of that POI over by Lotus, we got to see if Team Liquid is going to be able to replicate what they did on World's Edge for game number 3 with 13 KP. But with the crowd rallying up behind me, I want you guys to rally up with me because we got game number 5 to go here with the ALGS. It's been great to see groups B and D, and now we have to find out who will come out on top. Will it be Team Liquid holding their ground, or will another come trailing up and take it from them?
And that's exactly what it's all about here at EWC.
Okay,
Take what you want, right? Everything is earned, Vicky, and if you're not working for it, you're not getting it. And right now, with Team Liquid just 5 points ahead of Dinos, 2 maps to go. And honestly, that win from S8UL leapfrogged them up into 3rd. But gearing up here, we'll keep tabs. S8UL, I told you, they nabbed Neon Square just like they played in E-District yesterday. So knowing that they'll have prio to those southern zones, we went towards that draft point area and map number 1, great for them. Very easy to get over there. For now, when you see that first initial circle pull, I'm looking at Dinos at Energy Bank. Now, Energy Bank endings of Vicky are so fickle because there's a lot of places to play from, but it could pop a couple of different ways.
Yeah, right. Like usually by the bridge sides, right? And a lot of these teams usually get to coexist underneath these bridges, but I'm always scared when it comes to rotating early into a zone like this. You could expect that from like the likes of VP, who have already called in that evac tower. And since we say goodbye to Gibby, Baby Comp no longer seeing Valk as the babysitter. Instead, you're going to be making your way with some new compositions. Newcastle still kind of being that main face. I really love the inclusion, though. If it's not going to be like that Fuse, Axel, Wraith iteration, you see that Rampart too. So now taking a note of how E36 also make their rotate. Some of these teams over by their designated POIs get to walk with not only an Evil Harvester, but with that Survey Beacon and Ring Console to add, which is why VP were so quick to rotate, as we also see from Team Falcons.
Yeah, love that they got this, right? Falcons over at Heights do get Survey Beacon and Ring Console, so know that they're running Watson. They immediately pop onto the Ring Console, see where they need to go, take to the skies, and land quickly. I think we are just about 2 minutes of duration into this match, and we've already found ourselves fighting for a power position into Energy Bank. Wolves and Zipline Mafia with quick prio rotates are going to be down on the southern side, and this is maybe where Wolves can start turning things around, right? You have prio to the zone, you can take some fights and secure your spot, but if you did this good in E-District yesterday, we have 2 maps to turn it around.
It's just been rough, right, in general, sitting in 18th in the overall standings for Wolves. Now as they start rotating the double white Evo, one of those blue Evos with the NX here, VSN, who are by draft point, are going to be able to get the information off the Ring Console. Dory trailing right behind them, but there's also that Survey Beacon too. It's another reason why I really do like landing at draft point. You also usually have like a light arsenal before trying to rotate into that southern choke of Energy Bank. But remember what I mentioned when it comes to rotating early here. It's beneficial if you find yourself underneath one of those bridges. You're able to bunker down with the amount of Watson comps that we do see, playing into those defensive comps. But then you have to worry about the teams who are going to have to take a longer rotate, like WGR, Neo, who do have that Ring Console and Survey as they move out of Blossom Drive. But other teams are going to be like S8UL, who had one heck of a game number 4 with 15 KP, trailing behind Dinos, as they have 38 points to their name. TLNP, though, already getting involved in this fight versus E36.
Yeah, they hail from draft point, immediately dive up towards the north, but they have found themselves, you're right, surrounded by Enerforce 36. Falcons out towards their left. The Wolves, on the other hand, are gatekeeping Team Vision. We're side by side, and while this necessarily doesn't have to break out, these two are on the south side, but we're currently in that zone. And you don't want to draw too much attention to yourselves because there are other teams still working their way up from the south side of E-District.
Going on next here too with Zek, who's been so on point when it comes to trying to call out a lot of these end zones too, but it was about getting the info with the Survey Beacon. They're getting pinged from afar by a longbow here. You can see the pings. Wolves were looking at them originally. They have their TP set up, but another team is also going to be Dory by the bridge side that we just saw in our last end zone. Waltzy, though, playing off the little lip of the fence line. I love taking fights here, but it's very risky if you don't know if your back is cleared. So they would rather not risk this because look at the setup that they have underneath the bridge. The same bridge that I mentioned when we see a lot of these zone pools. They have the Watson fences painted all over the floor. They got the Newcastle barrier already set up, and they're splitting their attention with the pileup that we're currently seeing over by Energy Bank.
And it's a really interesting decision, right? Because Falcons have Alter, so they can disengage through the walls just like that. But when you look at TLN Pirates, they've elected to play the Wraith, and they're also one of the 3 ramparts that are in the lobby. We can use those amped covers for a lot of deterrence to them, but also our portal's not going to take us through the floor, though. That's on Alter, so you really have to keep an eye on the fact that Team Falcons are existing so close to you.
It's also important to highlight that we have a tie between the legend picks of Newcastle and Watson, so it really comes down to which of these teams find themselves in that first place spot, with Team Liquid holding on to the high ground. It's going to be Panic over onto that Watson, while Sykes holds on to the rooftop with the Newcastle 0. So we're going to be able to put in some pings because there's going to be a team waiting for them on the other side of the building here. Team Liquid are looking at Dog Red as they do set up that TP2, but they're not alone. If Liquid commit to trying to take that fight while they're still waiting on info, because there's a ring console to their north, so they're expecting other teams to rotate from that choke specifically. I like to call it like the E-District building of the streamer building that you usually see on World's Edge. Everybody likes to drop here. The don't pull up zone, because Flat is also looking at this fight, but they're splitting their attention to the team pileup that's in the middle of Energy Bank, so they're just trying to show presence.
We definitely are. You can see we've got the jetpacks going and kind of queuing out of the way for Team Vision. We've claimed a building, S8UL across the way. In terms of armor differential, it's not quite. Maybe just a purple over on Team Vision, so relatively equal there. And for now, they can kind of coexist until we see what is going to happen. Do we pull towards the east or the north side of Energy Bank, or do we get the circle for ourselves?
The reason why we see usually those defensive legends, while E36 Snap actually goes down. Kiner's going to be able to get the finishing blow off of that player, leaving E36 as a duo. And with this nice overview here of the teams that are still rotating in, Neo are looking at Zipline Mafia, while Dory are going to be able to take advantage of the ring console.
You know, it's crazy. I was like, oh, we'll see if it pulls north. We'll see if it goes east. Why am I doubting S8UL and Team Vision? They have been some of the best zone calling teams the entirety of LAN thus far and in Split 1. So knowing that they've elected to coexist on that southeastern side, they get the zone pull. Typically where we saw that E36 fighting is over in the center. You can see the big red team Falcons. That's like 3 or 4 teams stacked on top of each other, with Team Liquid just above them. Shopify Rebellion, instead of going straight into Team Liquid, have carved their path out into a diagonal just to the right side of them. And I'd imagine that in our next, I'd say 1 to 2 minutes, Vicky, we're going to lose a lot of teams.
That ends up what's happening with a lot of the teams that struggle to get in some of these early rotates, who are getting gate catched by these chokes on E-District, but with, you know, Alter in the mix and still Valkyrie. Skewz is going to be able to put in the pressure with his 30-30. Skewz is going to have that gold sniper stock, by the way, as well as that purple heavy mag. Nice shots here, but even if it gets the knock, it's going to take a little bit before you traverse through this open ground. Zip loud, drop down, and try to take this fight too. There is that server beacon right behind him, and it is a rather isolated fight, because guess what? The one member of Neo is ahead of the rest of the team just to set down a TP, and they actually do manage to get out of trouble because they had a TP set up originally in another building, and Zipline Mafia wanted to try to take that fight.
Well, there we go. Survey beacon activating, giving us the information in which we need to know. Definitely need to run at that circle because time is of the essence. With 20 seconds ahead, you need to trail WGR Neo. We talked about Wolves needing a comeback story on our final 2 matches of E-District. They're just outside looking in with Gen G and Aurora surrounding them. Couple of pokes as we recently lose out on Interforce 36. Looks like TLNMP and Dinos with both a hand.
Not gonna lie, these casters are
kind
of good.
E36 gonna fully reset right there. Feeling the pressure here while Unlimit also pick up some KP. Look at Peace. Looking at Akba, as well as KSH, just seeing if they could try to get this Alter right back into the fight, but having to play on that low ground is hard when Unlimit has been peppering into you. Longbow in hand of Peace, gets the quick little 48, but he's already outside and around the corner. Just showing presence to clear this side of the choke. Very similar to what we had seen in the previous game of Falcons when we had gotten started on E-District. Dog Red too, looking at Shopify. It's one member of Dog Red though who's looking at a full 3 stack, while Dory now also just trying to find their way around this next building. Somebody needs to help the Valkyrie right here. They put down the Gen. Great angle and great suppress fire, hitting 120 off the Hemlock.
I'm a little worried about this because Team Heretics is likely going to look for an opening onto this. They did bunker down, and having the Watson Newcastle will make things difficult. I heard the wall going up. You're likely going to have a pylon directly behind it. A res coming through via audio, and WGR Neo now on that west side with the ring at their back trailing. It's Zipline Mafia and WGR basically just running side by side.
With the zone closing in right behind their backs, you know who's going to be waiting for them, Tiff? You highlighted them just now with Team Heretics looking at Dory. Neo, of course, to take a much longer rotate. This is going to be trouble for Zipline Mafia as they were trying to originally get that full reset here. And now coming out of Neon Square, Neo are going to go through the portal, going to be able to skedaddle through the southern side of Drop Point, where Team Vision, who's been settled on the outskirts of that choke, have been there for a very long time. You mentioned that this is a team, Zach specifically, who's been so good when it comes to calling out and playing in those late zones and these circle pools. And they could expect a lot of these teams to find themselves in that pile-up over onto the southwestern side of zone.
Bow in hand, infinite ammo, and they are calling it out where you're like, can we locate? Okay. It's been a little windy out there, and to be fair, very far shot, but at least you're the Sparrow, and you can invest that over. Bro, if you do it, I'm screaming.
So it's something about when you look at the Sparrow and he's like, Avicii. It's like, okay, you just hit me from a mile away like you're Legolas.
This is what I was waiting for. We've been kind of talking about Team Heretics, Team Vision, Dory, Havoc, where they were all going to collapse on. And finally, it breaks through. Muscle Peaks goes down. Katsu King and Hiro Mane are going to have to swarm around, but Team Heretics find the angle, and they immediately start pressuring through the mobile shield, down and around. Another member has dropped.
And SAUL rocking the rampart and hiding behind the amp barriers to get that triple take shot and grief them while they're at it. They're safe, bunkered down inside the neighboring building, looking at all this action with Sharky. Takes a chunk out of them too. Lonzy then going to be able to follow up to find that member of Dory that's going to leave one up here as Dory. Just trying to stay alive. Team Heretics now, because trying to fight this against Havoc here, and SAUL and nobody contesting them are getting away with taking away this KP.
And the center of their map is also collapsing with Wolves falling. Jens finding a big knock there. And the altar portal to hunt down the remaining player of the team. Jumps on a no-shield back for you. Havoc out of the lobby.
Very quick here with Heretics. Going to be able to get out of the line of sight, by the way, of SAUL playing off those side buildings and isolating their backs. Nobody to come in for the 3P while Team Vision are playing very split up. And Zipline Mafia still, by the way, trailing against WGR Neo. The fact that they were able to also just rotate, now take to the skies and stay alive. Excuse doesn't have a shield, but they have the human UAV. Scan where they can land for free. They find his position, at least in this corner, doing everything, and this is where the Newcastle and Rampart comp comes into play.
And this hurts. You immediately drop the wall, you get the amped covers down, you even invest a mobile shield. We have just expended so many of our abilities to secure this place. Now, knowing that there's 16 teams still in the lobby, we are safe and fully healed for the time being.
And they're gathering around the campfire and maybe singing the friendship song here.
Want a s'more?
Everybody bunkers down. We've just built the house and we're not going to be moving out of here unless somebody evicts us. Neo's getting evicted, by the way. Maybe this time it's out of the bus. It's Shenji trying to get a little bit of revenge. It's only Ziki, though, who is up and alive. Let's see if he can try to get this full reset, because Team Vision are on the hunt, but they can't fully commit because Zipline Mafia are still restabilizing on the other side of that fence line after we saw them land, and they're also putting their attention onto SAUL, who are trying to arrest Team Heretics from moving up.
Aurora fall, flat fall at the hands of Team Liquid, and we jump immediately to their POV. One of two teams with the longest rotation, but at least you've got a Kraber in the hands of Zero to make it work. A good little pip there of what we're looking at. Shopify Rebellion on the run towards the east, and Team Liquid actually chasing them down. We decide to go out that route instead of straight into the Falcons, who were just taken down by Dog Red.
That's huge, and they banked on it pulling towards that northern ridge. You talked about it in our last game, Tiff, about how a lot of these end zones end up giving some of our pros whiplash when it comes to trying to call out where the zone pool will be moving to. and they fall victim to Dog Red. And while Vision, they called it out being on the southern
my
side
gosh.
of zone. Zach is so good
No.
when it comes to calling out these E-District zone pools. And
that
you
was
can
done.
see that
That was
display
done
here,
from the
but they
very
need to
beginning
make
for
sure
them.
that the southern side of zone is cleared up, especially if you look at where the zone pool is. It's directly on top of Zipline and Team Heretics, with Visions playing more so by the edge, but teams that are flying by, looking to grief them. Shopify, Liquid trailing right behind. Zipline Mafia
No way.
will be able to have a clear
No way.
shot of the action happening in front of them.
Well, keep your eyes. 6
Yep.
bullets
Yep.
in
I
the
have a Team
Kraber
Liquid
for
jacket.
0.
I have a Team
Shopify
Liquid
Rebellion,
jacket.
18th on the leaderboard. Team Liquid in first. So you've got to take down the Titans of B versus D, and you're doing so. 0 down, Sykes down, Panic with a last stand and an
Stuck in the corner.
RE45.
Oh no, oh no.
Hello,
The
good
drones are flying about. Panic is not trying to panic here. They need some cover.
I'm panicking.
Knockdown. Can he actually pull this off? He has to hide behind the knockdown shield. I mean, it's so much pressure. They're playing neighbor, essentially, to Zipline Mafia. And now Panic is the last one alive. He does get the quick shield swap, while Dinos do get eliminated in your feet. 10 squads left, and Panic is building up this fence line to prevent them from climbing up.
Well, I mean, you have to think about it this way. They have a Sparrow and a
That's
Fuse
the
on the
one.
hands of
Oh, yeah,
Shopify. So they're just inundating them with the Knuckle Cluster. So, of course, Team Liquid are going to be going through it. Shopify Rebellion live to see another day. Elsewhere, TLNP, the French, take down Dog Red.
Everybody look at the way that S8UL played this. They're safe inside a building. They got 41 total points, and they're primed in a position where they can clean up this KP once that next zone closes in. And they can also look at the teams like Unlimit, like Pirates, like VP, that have to move out of the middle side of Energy Bank out in the open, where it's going to be free pickings.
Well, we are in Paris, Vicky, and we were asking when TLN Pirates were going to start putting up some numbers. Up to 3 kills they go, still alive into the top 8, but Unlimit are staring this team down, investing a lot of nades, arc stars, thermites galore, and they keep barricading through. We've got the Axle, we've got the Nitro Gates, but Yulari Man
Nice
goes down
job.
on the opening fight.
There's no way he just slid into getting knocked immediately right afterwards. When you talk about the different legend comps, this piece is just trying to see if he could get a shield swap, but it looks like those shields in those death boxes were already swapped preemptively. Now moving up, though, trying to hold to the high ground. It's only up to Peace, and he fights Pirates, and he looks to get the res. Really, it's only VP who can try to contest him with the zone closing in. You have little time to even fully reset if you're Limit.
Does it make sense for them to take this fight, or do we just go to circle? Because they're going to have to deal with Shopify Rebellion looking for a place to play from as well. Team Vision on that south side still keeping tabs on it, and instead we lose out on the solo of Unlimit.
Impossible to be a reset there when the zone's closing in right behind you. Even better though, Shopify looking to clean that up. VP now brute forcing their way into the edge of zone, while Shopify trying to harass them because they also need to get right underneath Zipline Mafia. Hello, neighbor. As Zipline are looking at them through the other side of the amp barrier. The Sheilas may start singing soon, while Zap with the motherload finds that knock onto weak Q.
You immediately see Kazakh just run at the down player. Weak Q up on his feet within 10 seconds. Great work from Kazakh there. We have to reset because Shopify Rebellion is about to do exactly what they did to Team Liquid if they're not careful. VP, on the other hand, Fuse, Wraith, Catalyst, they already used the Dark Veil. So we're just frolicking, trying not to get knocked before we get behind the fence.
Nothing to see as Prestis now climbs up. But he healed as he's going to be able to heal over time thanks to that AMP 4 squads left as Visions get eliminated. Shopify next. Remember what I mentioned about S8UL though? This is the whole pileup as S8UL have set one member out with the portal to try to see if they could steal some of this KP. And that is with, by the way, the original TP that they had set up with that ultra, it looked like, or maybe even taking that from VP. It really depends as VP are also trying to move up on the other side of Zipline.
Look, now that we're into the top 3 as Zipline Mafia has fallen, S8UL recognize this is the time to get KP. We had 1 kill coming into this, and we don't want to rely on placement points, but Team Heretics are now in the bottom of S8UL's building with Virtus Pro across the circle.
Wait a minute, this got interesting with Team Heretics not letting go of S8UL. I mean, they really, they have no other choice though, because even if they get out of their building originally, S8UL will just be able to shoot at them for free. They have to take this fight, and with the zone now closing in behind their backs, a final zone, VP could capture capitalize off of this as a full 3-man with our last 3 squads up.
And here's the deal about SAUL, is they've been in this building. They haven't got to replenish their nades, but hopefully they have a few. I saw some charges on the Shiloh there as well, so we could take to the roof and fire upon Virtus Pro if that is the case. Ooh. But you have to keep an eye out. Do we have the mother load from the fuse on VP?
Yeah, we did, and we yitted it out onto SAUL, but with the zone closing in, taking their time. Slamming down is going to be Team Heretics, who move up first. This is a little overzealous, though, because now you're stuck in the middle. You're in the line of sight of SAUL, who capitalize off the situation. VP now, move up to 3P. Sharky gets the knock. They're looking to get the reset, but VP, as they see them dancing around the Newcastle wall, get Alone Team next. Last 2 teams up, as it's going to be VP versus SAUL, and VP move up, and SAUL were able to get these shield swaps. This is huge. Now Sharky and Jesco, they go crazy. He tries to get the hipfire shots, only 1 left, but VP, they have the number advantage until now. Presses is 1 shot, and now SAUL, can they do it? Can they get the back-to-back?
Jesco's going, Jesco's going, and he does it! SAUL with the back-to-back wins!
He's just doing so good. Honestly, that was the smartest thing to do. Just come back to the back and then finish him off.
The pop-off. Look at the way they're looking at each other. That was insane. SAUL just skyrocketed, by the way. They're like a point away from tying up with Team Liquid, who was first in the overall standings after a crazy performance on World's Edge. SAUL, the consistency on E-District. You take it game 4, you find yourself with the dub for game number 5, and you take it with 5 KP playing incredibly patient, Tiff. You mentioned how long they were in that building, but I also have to highlight the way that VP played out of Energy Bank.
Yeah.
They were still trying to take a lot of these fights. They were trying to clean up a lot of KP. They fully capitalized off of Team Heretics, who were forced to move outside the building. Although a little early, they slammed down with the Newcastle wall, and they put themselves directly in front of VP, who gets to convert a 2nd place finish with 10 KP to their name that game 5.
That was absolutely insane to grab the double digits. You are 100% correct. The most damage taken, if I'm not mistaken, in that top. But they also dealt 6,900 damage in that entire game there, Vicky. Their damage differential is like 2,900. VP went crazy in terms of kills.
So you like to see, too, when we have one more game left onto E-District, but we got to take a look at these highlights first and what led up to these final moments for game number 5, because you know how I feel, Tiff. When it comes to these game 5s, it really determines how these teams are feeling. You're already at the later half here of this group stage, specifically within this series.
Oh, man.
And what you have to do differently, SAUL are stacked up. Jesco, oh my gosh, with these hipfire shots off the 30-30. You talk about playing patiently inside that building. You mentioned maybe not having a lot to work with when it comes to these meds or the nades. He had like, what, less than 120 bullets in that of light mag in that R9 in general. And he was able to work off of this with the 30-30, following up to try to take these fights safely. But it's beautiful to see SAUL coming out on top here on E-District, and also very similarly to Team Vision, by the way, playing off of where they predicted that zone pool was going to be over to the southwestern side of Energy Bank.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, right, for Team Vision. Yes, they get into the top 5. They got a bit more kills than they did in the prior match, and they did get 2nd, but we're still showing that consistency, which is what we are genuinely asking for our teams in the group stages moving into later in the week. Dinos, though, after some stellar performances, go out with about 3 points in that game. So knowing that they've been in the top 3 for the series results thus far, with 1 game to go, I'm looking across who are we cheering for. We've got all of our fans in the stands. Honestly, Vicky, this stuff started filling up early today.
I love it. This is the energy that I live for when it comes to our lands. There's no other like an ALGS LAN, as we get to see the Reject fans in the crowd. RC win. I love the energy that we're seeing here. From behind us in the caster booth to the audience here in Paris, the back-to-back though. VP getting so much KP in their pockets, and it's scary too with SAUL still harassing them, by the way, and that's when they sent out that one member to kind of pepper into them while the zone was still cleaning up behind them. They still were able to get the full set, which is even better in terms of pacing for VP, and that kind of goes hand in hand to the help of Team Heretics, who moved up from underneath the building that they were sharing with SAUL, taking their attention away from them, and the fact that they still had 2 up when they were facing off against Jesto, man, he is just built different.
Holy, the fact that if he hits that last clip onto Preston's, that would have been disgusting. I mean, we were tracking with the R9, the hip fire, the cleanup there. He finds finally gets the job done. But that was a nasty sequence.
Great awareness in avoiding those catalyst spikes too on the ground, taking control over the hedge before sliding off and still working off of having, you know, whether it be those white attachments or blue attachments on that 30-30 on the R92 as S8UL are rallying off from the back-to-back. Love to see the family in the crowd too, but again, goes back to what we were talking about, Tiff, and the way that they were able to convert a lot of these final zone pools into getting the dub. Sure, it wasn't the, 15 KP that we saw in game number 4, but it's highlighting the fact that they were able to close the gap between themselves and where Team Liquid is currently situated in, with a 1-point difference between themselves and first place spot.
That means game number 6 is going to be so insane. You're going to have a different storylines running. Will Team Liquid be able to make it towards the end and take the top of B versus D? Or could Dinos throw down another win? We talked about it. You got Kashera there in the back, just a real veteran in the ALGS comp scene, is coaching Dinos. So to be able to provide all of that knowledge onto these boys for their first major land, that is exactly what they need here today. But S8UL, I mean, they're looking clean.
Yeah, they do here. S8UL with that dub. I do believe it's going to be the Watson who is out for our final game. I don't think I saw Zero looking at the boys over the Aussies after that win.
He gave him enough positivity.
He gave him all
and
the
happiness
energy.
after that.
He's like, it's your turn now.
It's like, fine, I'll go get the job done. As we look at our overall rankings in the group stages there, 58 kills, a total of 109 for Team Liquid, S8UL right behind them. But it's getting close. These group stages, I'm starting to get a little nervous, because when you think about it, top 14, you are safe. That's where you want to find yourself. Anytime you're outside of that, so long as you're above, you're not in the bottom 6, we are golden, right?
It's great here when you're really on the second day and you've kind of figured out where you situate yourself across a lot of these different groups.
Baby.
Oh, I love to see it.
I know it's an Argentina jersey, and this is going to sound really bad, guys. It's because Rain Day was in the green room. We saw the baby on the broadcast earlier. It's like, yes, the baby is in the Argentina jersey. That is 100% what we need. And now I miss my child at home.
Aw, I just love the fact that you get to rally of the family,
Yes,
give the support to a lot of these
love it.
players at all of our international lands. It's great. As we get to see a lot of our players geared and ready to go. What will be the results post-match number 6? Don't go anywhere, because we will be moving back over to E District on the other side of this break. Welcome back, everybody. Team Liquid are primed, sitting in first place with 56 total points. We got one more game to go on E District. It's been exciting to see whether, Zero has been digging for gold to get that number 1 first place spot in this group stage, or will S8UL, the boys back at home, just steal it away from him after the back-to-back dub?
I mean, maybe they go again, pull the hat trick out, just win all 3 on E District and just cement your dominance and say, you know what, E District, yeah, of course, we were able to get the same POI draft that we grabbed before, so we're playing from Neon Square, we're feeling really confident about it, and they've had that Southern Zone that went into draft point, and immediately after the Energy Bank one, they called it to perfection. So now, can they do it again?
We'll find out next, guys. Our last game on E District here for groups B and D. We've seen this played out as Team Liquid want to hold up this first place spot. Can they do it with 56 points with S8UL trailing a 1-point diff? Or will we get another Southern Zone, adding a bit of a thorn to the side on the rotations that you can expect from the likes of Team Liquid? Let's get this game going. It's been a great day of the ALGS, and of course, it's crazy to even think, Tiff, that we got even more action later through and D play out.
The way things have been playing out since we started this day, Vicky, the question was, Team Liquid, Falcons. Match number 1 on World's Edge. What does that final 1v1 look like?
Okay,
right?
I'm back.
Zeros in the end. It's waltzy, right? And in the inevitable,
right.
Falcons take that map.
Actually,
Team
I'm
Liquid
gonna
answer
do
back with a win in
small
map 3, and
content
APAC
video,
South
and
showed
then
out for 4 and 5.
I'll be
Here's
back
the deal,
tomorrow.
guys. Falcons are currently situated in 7th place on this series. If we're going to continue that HAL v0, I'm going to need to see the Falcons throw down a dub in Game 6.
Can they do it? I mean, the way that they opened up today, can it be a Falcon sandwich? You got to hit them with the caca, but you got to soar through victory first to even be within that conversation. They predicted that energy bank zone, a pool towards the north side of the bridge. Boy, were they wrong. It gave them whiplash, and it pulled closer to where Visions had predicted coming out of their POY and settling on the north side of Draft Point. This time, though, we are taking a little bit tripped to the west side of the middle part of E District on the outskirts of Energy Bank and closer to Neon Square where SAUL, as someone hit the scriptwriters because SAUL are going to try to convert off of this because they also got the ring console and the survey beacon while they were at it off of Neon Square.
I mean, they just have the Rampart. They've chosen to run that with the Watson band. They grabbed, you're right, the ring console and immediately go to set up alongside. So they have the amped covers. They've got the Newcastle wall. After the changes with Watson being yeeted out, I'm looking at Team Liquid's pick as they kind of work their way up into the Lotus. They elected to play Sparrow, which is something we're very familiar with. Sykes playing Sparrow in that last game on this matchup for E-District. And even the Bangalore making a few appearances. I see Gen G electing to play Bangalore. Team Liquid. My next question was, would Unlimit bring out the Bangalore for peace? No, they're still on the Axel Sparrow Fuse. Fuse has been very prevalent throughout our series.
You know, another team, too, who has been within the top 3 like since the very beginning with the way that they've been doing throughout the course of these 6 games is Dinos, and they can easily also overtake SAUL and Liquid, depending on how they do in this game and the way that they rotate out of Energy Bank. But back-to-back with so many other teams now trying to rotate out of Draft Point. KSH, though, also being another team looking at VP over on the north side of Energy Bank. And while we do see these pings, so many other teams like E36 are on the rotate. Pirates, who are very close to meeting up with Dog Red over by that choke. You can already see E36 now moving up to Y EVOs as well as just with the blue. They do see Dogs on the other end, though, and they have the EVO shield advantage.
Yo, what I'm curious about is Wolves are full sending straight to this position that SAUL has found themselves in. Are they going to absolutely duke it out for that positioning? We'll have to wait and see. Zipline Mafia currently on our screen, very south here as they're working their way on that bottom side of Draft Point. Team Vision will be late to this rotation just based on where we're pulling. And finally, the challenge. And Jesco's got the Sheila out this early on for the action. I'll take it.
Oh, my sleep paralysis demon, how I missed you so. Jesco now forced to back away after letting the Sheila give a few of those warning shots. SAUL, though, having to stay alive when they're trying to take this fight versus Wolves on the other side of the building. They do have that slight high ground advantage. They try to go for a cheeky kidnap at the hands of Legacy. He's gonna be able to reposition, though. This is the beauty of having that rampart with those amp barriers. And E36, though, they heard the fight and they want in on the party with an invite that probably got lost in the mail.
Hey, they got some blue shields, though, so that's going to give them a bit of an advantage. This throws another catalyst into the fight, and No Name, I love to see the angles onto that. An immediate 48 damage going down onto Legacy. We don't get the shield break just yet, but that's okay for now. Having the fact that Wolves have a catalyst, E36 have a catalyst, so they'll be piercing spikes, reinforced doors, and SAUL have the rampart with the amped covers. So they're going to get that damage boost if they can find a way to navigate the angles properly.
It's nice to highlight just the different defensive legends that our teams are opting out for, right? And then you still have like the Caustic in this conversation, a lot of Sparrow, a lot of Alter. If this was going the distance, Alter would have been the next legend band, but it ends here within our 6-game series. All the Alters are prowling about. It's the E36 who's running alongside Shopify. Very unorthodox composition, but you mentioned Shopify having to really wake up. I mean, this is their last chance at this point. You've only been able to get, what, like 14 total points, finding yourself on the bottom end of the overall standings, while VP over by Lotus are going to be able to take to the high ground, get that information before moving up, because Shopify are also right next to them, as VP do get to get the ring console.
It's kind of interesting. Good note on that, and we'll chat about Shopify later. But even with a good game, you go to, what, 39 points? That gets you just inside the top 5, barring any craziness in our mid-pack. For TLNP, they're kind of in a similar position, but they're rotating just on the outskirts of Havoc, trying to find their way. Do we pathway through City Hall? City Hall really doesn't have a lot of information gathering resources for that Catalyst to grab a ring console. So our goal is, do we go up to Lotus, grab ring console there, and be super late on the rotation? That's why we're checking the survey beacon first.
Morgan, we see a lot of these fights, though. It's going to get volatile here. So Aurora Effect has the gold mag on the car, but he barely even gets to shoot it. They completely melt him down. Harkus is trying to bring back Ring after Effect falls incredibly low, but he doesn't look like he can pull it off. He gets the animation at the very end, and then finding Effect taking it from the other side as flat. Wanted to be able to get that finishing blow before the reset happens, but Harkus way too fast. He gets both of the boys through the TP, and Aurora are looking to reset.
Keep your eyes on Flat, though. They have one of the caustics in the lobby. Medkit's going off, about to be finished. The re-knock on Oiring comes through. Hiarka with the damage control grabs Cuser from that. Now for Nano and Big Louie here. It's about seeing what we can do. And are we going to reset yet again? No, Nano doesn't want it to happen. He wants to put the finishing touches into Aurora if he can just find them.
Nano's taking this slow, though. He's a little scared, trying to see if he can get a little cheeky kidnap before trying to go in through the TP himself, but they're playing Ring Around the Rosie. I've seen this one before. A little bit of deja vu, but with the more consistent shots off the alternator, Nano knows that he has fried him, but playing off of the knockdown shield can be risky, and it was just one shot before they clean up Aurora as the first team to go out in this final game.
Tough series for Aurora. They had 18 points, 15th in the series standing thus far for this group. We're gonna have to see them answer back and hopefully get into the top 14 for the week. Falcons, though, Walty incredibly low as Asia swings around, grabs the knock. Guild's already down, which means Hal needs to get out of dodge and save the Falcons if they want to break into the top 5 or potentially challenge for the top of the leaderboard.
The HAL insurance policy, though, when you're on the altar, you want to try to set up this portal somewhere else, though. Didn't like that position originally. And after losing out on Guild and Waltzing getting knocked, he's going to be able to try to get Waltzy if he is safe here, because the action is happening in very similar ways with Zipline. Also just trying to get the finishing player here. I think you all get eliminated in your feed. That is actually crazy, because SAUL were not able to get the 1 KP to tie up with Team Liquid, but hey, they had one heck of a 6-game series thus far.
Havoc does fall as well at the hands of Unlimit. We knew Wolves was challenging SAUL for their position with Enerforce 36 in a neighboring vicinity. Enerforce 36 tried a third party, it doesn't come through. Elsewhere, Zipline Mafia still looking for information and trying to course their path on that eastern side of Energy Bank.
I just have to highlight, too, like why these teams are playing the way that they do in the group stages. There is something at risk, right, Tiff? When the bottom 6 teams of group stages are actually eliminated, and we are on the second day out of 3 of group stages. The 15th and 34th team will advance into that 10-game series of the Survivor stage. So a lot of these teams with their backs against the walls, who didn't have the best performance in the first initial series, are looking to turn things around as Unlimit 2. Zooming around on the axle, it's going to be Laurie, man.
Oh, no.
Slides in, though, right behind Kiner, gets into a different position. He's got the alternator, he's got the double tap. He finishes him off, gets more KP. Literally, 4 KP in his pocket, but he's unstoppable. Pete's is just trying to reset. Nae's trying to stay alive, and now he's forced to TP to reset.
And you have the teammates going out looking for the pings and saying, he's escaped to here. You have the time to get me back up on my feet. Zedon even portaling back to Nate to try and clear the reset for them as well. And they are going on the hunt. And immediately under fire, TLN Pirates are out at the hands of Unlimit.
That is beautiful. Unlimit are putting on a performance in this final game. They keep going, though, as Ulari Man has seen another victim in the distance here. They're like actually losing out. One player here, Suvi, isn't going to be, and forcing them to play as a duo is going to be Unlimit. Now Team Heretics move up. They control the high ground as well as this choke with Zipline Mafia on the other side, but it's going to be difficult with Galleria now engulfed in the ring, and all these teams from the eastern side are forced to move into Energy Bank.
Couple things to note here while we've got a moment to breathe. Falcons make a full reset and are heading back through Neon Square. Looks like Panic from Team Liquid was able to grab a care package weapon, so he'll feel pretty solid with that. And the Heretics, well, We're still kind of shadowing Zipline Mafia, but a bit towards the north. I wonder if we're going to be able to get ahead of them in the choke.
Whoa.
This is OBS 17.
Whoa.
POV7.
We are moving through the Matrix.
POV7.
Hearing the voices in my head. You think I'm Wraith actually at the same time. Team Heretics.
You just went into the void.
You love it, the little banter when you hear like Alter talk to Wraith too with her cute little portal. Felt like I was Wraith for a second, just hearing the voices here, but you know who's hearing themselves take this dub is gonna be Dino with the way that they've been playing, because currently with still 50 points, Team Liquid still are alive. But it's going to be able to be Dinos trying to prio this rotate right now, trying to survive, get that placement, especially when they see Team Vision blocking their rotate. They're forced to take this roundabout rotate through the southern side of Energy Bank through the choke instead.
And Gen G get a full reset. Res 2, so back up to a team of 3. And a good move for Dinos. We've got WGR Neo ahead of them. And I love the caution we're taking, right? We just all turtle up. No angles given, quiet, syringing together, and focusing. Now, this is the battle that's been going on since the very start of this map, and it's Enterforce 36 now with portals, with Dark Veils, trying to eliminate Wolves. The piercing spikes were down on the stairs, but away we go, back to our building. The reason this is happening is because, guys, Shopify Rebellion has showed up to the fight, and there's a Fuse, Axel, and Sparrow now into the mix.
You know, when you see moments like that, and you get shot from the window that gets broken, especially when you have to worry about the fuses, too. I didn't know that Apex Legends is a horror game sometimes, but with the nades now, Shopify, they heard us, Tiff. They're showing their presence. Poiple playing a little slow, though. Wolves, too, are able to try to get this reset with the medkit getting popped for no name, while Zipline Mafia are farming in the kill feed. Kazakh is going to be able to get the one member of Team Heretics. Wolves, though, are going to be able to put down the TP too, in case they need a reset, because they are one of the teams who, by the way, have not really left from this building and are bunkered down with a catalyst.
Enterforce 36 is down, and now you turn towards the Falcons with Wolfsy last standing. Nano on the other side. The ping's coming through. The Chal is here, and the Falcons fall to flat.
Huge here for Flat to get this reset. Falcons out in 13th place in this final game between groups B and D. Now with Wolfsy, at least, you know, he got that knock, but unfortunately he couldn't get that KP. But now Visions walks up and clean up on aisle 3, because they're looking at Flat as Wolves are looking at them on the other side. And Team Liquid, who are still alive, are looking at the pile-up on the north side of Energy Bank. Gen G, Zipline Mafia, you were talking about this earlier. We saw the kill feed lighting up, Tiff, and Unlimit may actually 3P this, but you know what's even better? Is Dinos by Energy Bank, who are looking to steal this KP.
I mean, look, when the dinosaurs go on the prowl, it's a little scary. I don't remember their favorite dinosaurs. We'll have to ask them after. Gen G, yes, you got the full reset, but you are falling between Zipline Mafia and Team Liquid. Now, to end this fight, ahead is Excuse, and Zero just keeps jumping forward, hip firing that alternator before getting traded, because you're right, Dinos are here.
It's perfect timing here. J Future was able to capitalize, but Team Liquid says, I am out, immediately taking the portal. Don't want to be in this action. Let's see if they can recall the play. If they actually end up doing it. Team Liquid are looking to get the full reset. That's going to be huge here. No one's really going to contest them other than really Dog Red. But they're one of the teams with the Sparrow. Shopify are taking to the skies and actually may distract Dog Red from trying to harass Team Liquid. So it looks like it could be a full reset here, while Wolves are still on the other side of this choke, with where Team Vision has been holding them back together with Flat. And remember, with the amount of ultras that we also still have in this lobby, you could take that TP through those walls to get cheeky with these rotates.
Now it's all about who is going to do what. Mother load. Hey, no, we'll go with the Knucker Cluster for now. It's doing some damage. We'll table it. But Shopify Rebellion needs to pull forward. Dog Red has already gone to circle. Wolves electing to go towards the north are shadowing Shopify Rebellion, who dropped the evac. And there goes the mother load, the damage coupled with a knuckle cluster. They clean this up just nicely, but we have to rotate. Let it burn.
Oh my God, it's a revenge. Hold on. He was dancing on the zipline. He actually gets out. Just a little present for Fusey before Shopify now move up. But they griefed Wolves because the zone is closing in. We got to see if they're going to be able to reset. I don't think so. And now Wolves actually take the TP through the wall. They actually do. But Dog Red were waiting for them. They wipe them out. And Wolves get eliminated in 11. Team Liquid, we mentioned the reset. They're here and they're wrapping behind the limit. Team Liquid now They follow up. They find more of these victims, and Dinos are stuck on the edge of zone before they eventually fall. Dinos will now overtake Team Liquid. Zero remembering Waltzy with the choke. You can't emote on me if you are not on top. And Team Liquid right now are looking to farm as Panic gets another one.
We grab a knock onto Shopify Rebellion Zap. We lose Unlimit, and this is great. We're carving out our path. Now here's the deal. Virtus Pro are in the circle. They could send one player out to third party this, but Panic deals so much damage. Steals a shield and disengages. That is the playstyle we need for Team Liquid. They're playing for the win, the positioning. They know this isn't a safe fight.
Looking at the fact that you got like a G7 with Team Liquid, I think a Kraber as well. I'm surprised if Zero has that picked up your Shopify. With Zap literally one shot is just looking to restabilize. Another team across from them though, with Team Vision holding the other side of VP.
So
Team Liquid are taking a roundabout rotate from the back end of where the one member of Zipline Mafia is. And by the way, the last member alive is going to be the Pathy. Living true to the squad name, if he can move up into this next zone. And while he hears Team Liquid, he actually baits him to fight up against Team Vision flat. The one solo gets eliminated at the hands of Zach, and Team Liquid move outside of zone. They see the TP. He didn't mean to try to get the finisher outside into the ring, but he did want to try to finish him off, get the reset too. Zero does have the Kraber in hand and the unlimited ammo.
But are they going to chase them down where they have reset onto the west? Because Virtus Pro has been pounced on by Shopify. Zap still healing. Shield cell by shield cell. But the knuckle cluster to assist Koi. We got 4 kills. This is the game that they needed to turn it around. We're combing. We're trying to break into the top 10. But even with a win, we would be into the 30s. But it's still a salvageable series.
See what they're waiting now? Zone's closing in. Right behind Team Liquid. They haven't called out, by the way, the solo that is left of Zipline Mafia. They have
just let him
no
live.
idea.
Let him live.
He is hiding for his dear life. Look at him. Look at Kazakh. Just hiding behind the desk.
Wait.
Would you like me to take your order real quick? As he's right there next to the desk itself. The fact that Sykes is right alongside him. He has no idea. He has no idea.
Check your corners. Check your corners.
They keep getting all right.
Okay, he's gone. Koifel finds him.
Hey, but it misses out for Team Liquid to get that free KP. Honestly, but a great route I was going to say right into the face of another team. It's going to be Shopify here waiting for them, as well as VP. Now trying to take this fight versus Team Vision. Now this is all for Shopify. Gifted for free. I mean, Shopify are just looking at Team Vision. They were able to finish up that fight. They're up and healthy. You try to get the double jump off the Sparrow. Good luck with that. And now they're looking to coexist off the low ground.
And we're into the final 2. And look at Zainu, immediately trying to get, if we can, with the Hemlock Breach through the mobile shield, loader down, and the angles all around. We swarm to Carter. Zap finds another. Shopify Rebellion, the comeback that we have asked for. Just needs to get through. One more, and it's Zach. He grabs a knock, and it is done. Shopify Rebellion get their first win.
The pop-off when we said we highlighted Shopify right before getting into this last game. How good they needed to perform for match number 6. They were in what, 18s?
Yeah, it wasn't looking too good, and they were kind of in that middle pack coming into this series where they would have really secured themselves a spot in the that survival stage. They wouldn't have been quite sent home, and of course we do still have some more series to play, but them getting that win and getting as many points as they can will edge them closer in that group standings so we can really avoid being in that bottom 6.
Anything when it comes to being able to secure the 9 KP too. Let's also not forget they took the solo from Zipline Mafia. All that KP as we take a look at our other teams who may not have had the performance that they needed. Dory finding themselves in that 20th place spot. Wolves too, who try to take this very slowly. Even the teams like WGR Neo, who came in swinging yesterday.
They had a 15 kill win. Wolves had a strong showing yesterday. B versus D, not their matchup that they're doing too hot on today, but that's okay. There's still plenty of more matchups to go. But Shopify Rebellion, you can see the celebrations on that map 6 win doing the most. I even saw Zero running over there to talk to them. What do we think Zero is saying to all these teams as they get their wins? He's congratulating them. We know Zero is a positive guy.
Positive. I mean, when it comes to the Aussies, oi, oi, oi. You love to see it. I love to see the energy here when it comes to looking at the way that S8UL was able to perform, Team Liquid too, and You know what? Sometimes I like to call it back in my roots, Tiff. Taught to get bodied, because even if Falcons started off strong,
They did.
you see Waltzy with the pop-off, but that was only game number 1 before Team Liquid was really able to turn things around. Sure, they got that one dub. That one dub was double-digit 13 KP. They consistently found themselves in these end zones when it came to looking at E-District. Although we won't talk about that last portal. That's when we had the big pile up of the 2 teams into that building. But he said, I hope this works, threw a dart on the board and opened stuff. But it's very unfortunate, too, when you see a lot of these teams playing scattered patiently here. Especially when you also see that one solo who was getting cleaned up. Shopify waiting patiently. Zap going crazy at the very end after securing the KP from the high ground before repositioning himself, playing off the fuse, and even getting out of line of sight of that Sphere ultimate.
What's really nice is how he manages like the cooldown and the count of his knuckle clusters. He grabs the knock and throws the knuckle cluster onto them before diving out of the door. As we re-see those celebrations, Dawn in the back there. That has to feel good, because sometimes this is what happens on LAN. You have a slower start. You're trying to figure out the pace of how these group matchups are working. And finally to say, hey, we got that win, because that's the biggest question that we take into Match Point Finals on the weekend, is we are saying, have you netted yourself your first win of the series yet?
It's great. It's fantastic to see how even the teams on the back end of things were able to wake up a little bit. Even just that 1 point diff between Shopify off of that great banger of a last game behind Team Falcons, with them holding 36 points and Shopify with 35 at the end of that. Even with the way that Visions was able to perform and call a lot of these end zone, it's been great to see how these teams, these groups have faced off against each other. Let's hear from more of Zero as we jump into the interview.
Playoff stage are like not just regular
Ladies
people.
and
They're
gentlemen,
like really,
welcome back
really
to the main
people
stage. We've
who
got an
have worked
epic
so hard
interview
just to
here
win.
because, let's face it, day 2 did not disappoint.
Hey,
I've got
this is
Guild
my
here joining
homie,
me
Rainy.
from Team
Let's go.
Falcons. Guild, let's kick things off. Today,
Rain day
let's begin
play.
kicking things off. That
I love
map
it. I
1,
love
we've
it.
got to talk about it, right the way down to the wire. We gave the
He's my
fan
inspiration
service
in
to
the
the
esports,
fans. They had a
honestly.
great time.
Like, here he can
Waltzy
talk
clutching
and
up at the very end of
hearing
that.
what he
Talk me through the
does.
comms,
He's
talk me
my
through how
biggest
game 1
inspiration.
went for you guys,
When
and
I met him at
you know
the
how
esports
elated
award
you
show,
were
oh my God.
afterwards.
I mean, game 1 was great. I was really happy for Waltzy to win that 1v1. He played it really well. I mean, that game was just pretty well played for the whole thing, pretty much.
Yeah, it was an incredible thing to see, and to be honest with you, it's a similar story to yesterday. You guys starting strong, and then it's starting to taper off. What kind of issues are you running into, or is it just kind of, that's how it plays out sometimes?
I don't know. I mean, game 2, we kind of died in a way that, like, we couldn't really do much about it, and I think we just didn't do a great job recovering afterwards. So the rest of the games just didn't go well.
So the rest of the games, was it just getting in your own head, and then suddenly it kind of started to, not necessarily spiral, I was going to say spiral, but you know, it started to slip away from you guys throughout the rest of the day?
Yeah, I mean, when you have a game like that, like every bad game that you have after that, like matters a lot more, if that makes any sense. So if you do start having bad games because you're actually making mistakes and not because of things out of your control, it's really frustrating.
Piling a bit more pressure onto your own shoulders. But Gil, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining me in this interview, and we're going to head right over because we've got another one set up with my man Rain Day.
It's a far walk. I hope you guys can make it over here. But Zero, I just got to say, in form. That's kind of the way that I feel. This is some of the best I've seen you play in a long time. Are you feeling the same way?
Yeah, to be honest, I think I've been pretty much playing the same for like the last year. Even though we came 33rd, I really don't think I could have done much more. I would have had to start hard cheating to make that team win. But yeah, I think we're like coming into form.
One of the things he mentioned in that one was the 1v1 with Waltzy. Well, you were on the other end of it. I felt like to even get to that 1v1, you had to pull off a heroic double Kraber shot to knock 2 people down in 2 different moments to even make it even. How did you feel that went? Were you actually happy with that result? Because I don't think second was on the menu for you guys until you hit those 2 shots.
Yeah, I mean, like that zone, pretty much the hardest zone in the game, like back down from Fissure. So like happy with the overall result, but choked the clip, so just gonna be depressed forever, basically.
I was trying to give him some dap. He goes back to depression. Listen, you've been through ups and downs. We know that. And part of it is that team used to be the team you're on. Now you're not. You have your own team, your own journey. Usually your father, Richard, is here. A fierce support, sometimes a fierce critic as well, saying you need to step it up. How have you navigated getting to the point where you have had moments of feeling frustrated, feeling like you are against the wall, but then still pushing through to something that is now looking like a chance not to redeem yourself? You don't need to do that. You're a champion, but to get back to that place you know that you belong.
Pretty much just hating losing more than anything else. Like every time I'm on a stage and I watch someone else lift a trophy, like I think they're just stealing from me basically. So yeah, like watching Falcons almost win last land from my hotel room, pretty depressing. So I wouldn't let it happen again.
Liquid.
All right, final statement here for me. I think you guys are in great position. Talk to me about Panic. I think that 1v1 clutch at the very end when two teams are fighting, coming in at the end, there's a lot of momentum that's built with a team like that, especially with a young player on land. Talk to me a little bit about Panic.
Well, basically, like on his old team, he had two very defensive players that like based their entire team around him. And like coming to our environment was like very different because like that's my role. But getting him back into like his original confidence of when he played on TSM, they're like into whatever he wants. Like that last game, I'm just following him and all things basically yelling. It was like, calm down a little bit, buddy. Like, you know, we are in end zone, but he's just like, when he's confident, he's the best player in the game.
That's awesome, man. Always great to talk with you as well. Congratulations on your win in this series. We've got so much more Apex Legends around the corner, but of course, we've got a little bit of a break. We've got to trade out our teams, but we have so much fun content planned, so stick around. Don't go far because the ALGS at EWC is here.
It is so great to see everyone. It's so good to see my casters and everything going on. I'm in love. I feel like I'm back at Esports, that's for sure. You know, where I need to be. And I'm happy everyone here is tuning in. I actually have to head out now. I will, unfortunately...
Welcome, everybody, to a club championship update. My name is Glitter Explosion, and I have Ton and Trav, and we're going to be hanging out with you guys to walk you through all of the action that's been going on at all of our stages. We're currently hanging out here at the Tona because this is what it is all about at the end of the day when it comes to the club championship. Which org will be at the top at the end of our 7 weeks of competition. If we're talking about what we've got going on at my stage, Apex Legends, no surprises there. We have Team Falcons and Team Liquid battling it out for that top spot with Team Liquid already in triple digits here in the group stage. They've been absolutely crushing it. And you know that overall Team Liquid is coming for that title with Falcons being the defending champs. Ton, I know it's early, but tell me a little bit about what's been going on at your stage.